As we are in March, we are still very much into our seed sowing marathon, and this week I'm going to be focusing on my nightshades. Now, our nightshade family basically include things like our aubergines, our peppers, our chili peppers, our bell peppers, as well as our potatoes. Now, if you haven't already sown your peppers or your aubergines, there's still some time, but you really need to be getting cracking on those. Now, something that I have been itching to get started, and I've been really good and waiting as long as I have, are my tomatoes. Now, with your tomatoes, there are basically two different types. You have your determinates and you have your indeterminates. Now, your determinates tend to be sort of your bush varieties, where you will get sort of the really big fleshy tomatoes which don't have a high water content, but basically once they're done, they're done. However, your indeterminates won't need successional growing because they will just keep on going and they will vine away. Now, what you will find with your indeterminates is you may need to pinch out or just take off the tops of your tomato plants when they are really established and growing, or maybe even taking off the little suckers at the side, which are the additional stalks which grow out, and potentially they can take a lot of energy away from your fruits, and tomatoes are technically fruits because the seeds are on the inside. So with our indeterminates, there's lots of different varieties that you can do, and I'm going this year and I have restricted myself to just 6, even though I have so many tomato seeds. I'm going for my green doctor, my black cherry, and cherry tomatoes tend to be our indeterminates. The crazy cherry, again, another indeterminate and a cherry. The ox heart, which is a really big sort of meaty tomato and great for cooking with, and my San Marano, and the money maker. Now, the money makers are great for growing with children because they're just about a guarantee, and actually all tomatoes are. And if we're thinking about growing with children, it's not just a case of getting them to sow seeds and seeing the seedlings. We actually want them to have some success with their growing so that they are going to get that real enthusiasm and that growing bug going forward. So very simply, I have got my 10 centimetre pots again, and in each of these I'm going to be sowing about 4 seeds. I'm going to try to behave myself because otherwise I'm going to end up with absolutely loads of tomatoes, which has happened before. Even though I do community growing, there is, believe it or not, such a thing as too many tomatoes. So I'm just very simply going to take from my seed packet 4 tomato seeds, and they are quite small. Just space them out in the pot, and then just over the top I'm just going to sprinkle over some compost and then pat it down. Now, once I've done that, I'm actually going to be using my great big propagators, or also known as my storage boxes again, but this time, rather than putting them into the storage box with the dock lid on top, I'm actually going to position these on the lid itself and then have the clear part of the plastic over the top of it. And this is because tomatoes do grow really, really quickly, and they will suddenly sprout before you know it. And if you don't allow enough light to get to them when they're growing, they will get leggy or start to really grow quite tall and quite weak trying to find that light. Now, if you do find that your tomato seedlings do get leggy or really tall really quickly, don't panic, because what you can do with those is they have these little fine hairs on the side of the stems, which if you pop them on and plant them deeper will actually form roots and actually become a really strong plant in itself. So lots of things to consider when you are growing tomatoes. As I say, brilliant to grow with children because they're just about a dead cert to actually grow. As always, I have plenty to do.